Hey, hi everybody. It's Renee Conkey coming to you from Water City Stamping Studio here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. We're going to go ahead and share it with the VIS page before I even start talking. And just give me 1 second to get that situated. I hope you guys are all doing well on a second day of spring Friday. Let's say, I was going to say first day, but yesterday was the first day. All right, here we are. We can go ahead and get that going. Let's see if it's going to pop up to share. Glad you guys are finding me. Let's see. Let's try it again. Let's refresh it again. Let's try this because it doesn't look like it's moving. Usually the second time is maybe a charm. There. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to find me. All right. I think we are good to go. Let's just go like this. And then I can see your comments, and I hope you all are doing well today. Oh, I hope I didn't lose you. Now the few people that were on here already are not on here. So I'll give you guys just a couple minutes. Hopefully, let's catch up with Facebook on a Friday. You never know what's going to happen with the internet and with Facebook and all sorts of things that can go wrong. Hi, Pat. Welcome. Good. So anyway, I am doing well. Let's just get this started. Like I said, and if you guys are ever wondering why I sit here and I talk for a while in the beginning, because I know it can be kind of boring, but the reason is I'm just giving you guys some time to pop on. Okay, hi Cindy, good. I'm glad you're finding us. I give you guys time to pop on and to find me, and some of you like to find me from the VIS page. Hi Bonnie, good morning. Some of you like to find me on the on our regular Water City Stamping page, and so we'll just get a few minutes to get going. Yes, happy Friday, and Pat, go Badgers. I know, I'm excited. It's always fun to have a little bit of a local team in the March Madness. Hi Joan, welcome. Lots of upsets yesterday in March Madness, which is always exciting. Not when it's upsets for, well, I don't know. The Badgers were supposed to win, so I'm glad they won. But other teams, it always kind of makes it interesting. So anyway, you guys are starting to find me. All right, I'm going to just start talking. And if you missed the beginning, you can go ahead and watch the replay and start it from the beginning. But as many of you know, and I mentioned this the other day, and then it kind of just slipped my mind on Monday, but on March 19th was my 28th anniversary with Stampin' Up. And you know what? My glasses are a little dirty, so I'm just gonna wipe them clean. My 28th anniversary with Stampin' Up. That is a long time. And it's a long time to really love what you do. And I really, really do. And we've gone through lots and lots of changes in the 28 years. And some are good and some are not so good. And, some go back to normal and some don't. And, life is full of changes. That's all there is to it. So anyway, 28 years. Watched my children grow up. Let's see, Anna just turned 30. Jacob is 31, so they were very little when I started. Hi, Chris. I can remember those little peanuts. Anna, that's back when I used to do shows, and I do about 14 to 18 shows a month. And little Anna would run after my car every time I would leave. Well, she was a little bit older. She's probably about 3 or whatever. Paul would watch her run down the sidewalk, but she'd always be running down and I always thought she was just waving goodbye, but she just told me recently she hated it when I left and she was always so sad and, oh, whatever, kids are always sad when you leave, when you have to go to work. So Anyway, but I always thought she was just running and having fun. So now I kind of feel like a guilty mother. But anyway, hi, Mary Kay. But like I said, it's been a wonderful, wonderful job for me. I couldn't have asked for a better, having a teaching background, I couldn't have asked for a better way to share my teaching than to share it with you in stamping, because you guys are not like high school students. Needless to say, I love sharing all of, stamping up with you. So anyway, good morning, Noreen. So I thought today, I knew I wanted to celebrate my anniversary somehow, and I thought, oh, this is going to be the perfect little pop-up class to celebrate my anniversary. And my pop-up class is going to be featuring the Thankful Garden. And generally, I haven't been doing 2 classes a month, not since COVID, but I thought this is a great time to do it. And especially now that I'm more in online rather than in person, I thought this is a great way to kick this off. And so this is the Thankful Garden. The Thankful Garden is an online exclusive, and we talked about it a little bit on the other day when we went through some of the new products in the swaps the other day. And we talked about the Thankful Garden being an online exclusive. And the Thankful Garden stamp set is $24. And so what I thought I would do in honor of my anniversary is make the pop-up class using the Thankful Garden. You're going to get the stamp set. You're going to get 4 cards with envelopes using the Thankful Garden, all for $28. So it just worked out perfect. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down and tell you a little bit more about this class. And then I'm going to show you how to use the Thankful Garden, okay? Because you are going to get the stamp set. Everybody's going to get the stamp set. Now, if you want the class and maybe you're a demonstrator, or maybe you have already purchased the Thankful Garden, it just came out this month, so I can't imagine that a lot of people already have, but maybe you have, and you would like a different stamp set, that would be totally fine. You can order a different stamp set if you already have this Thankful Garden for $24 or, the equivalent. But otherwise, you're going to get the Thankful Garden included in your class. So you're going to be able to make the exact cards that I'm showing you today. But I'm going to show you different versions of the Thankful Garden, including the bundle. And we'll just talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down, and let's go ahead and start chatting about the class. So let's do that. It's a little bit easier to tell you about it and show you than for me just to be yammering. So I'm just going to wait and make sure that that is in my perfectly in the line of sight for you. And in the meantime, I can tell you this, if you remember correctly, this is ink. I am full of ink. I'm just going to tell you, my whole hands are full of ink. I have been inking since like 4 in the morning, just going to town on these beautiful hydrangeas and these beautiful little Cosmo flowers. And just once you get started, you can't stop. It's crazy. So anyway, this is where you find the online exclusives. If you go to reneeconkey.stampinup.net, and all you have to do is put in new products or Thankful Garden, and everything from the Thankful Garden will pop up. Okay, so if you want to see it online, that's where you can go to see it. Otherwise, I'm going to show you everything right here. This is the little cheat sheet that I had, so you can find it easy. I did post this on the Water City Stamping Facebook page and on the VIS page, and it's in the VIS page in the files, so you can even print it out for yourself if you would like to, okay? And that is where you're going to find all our brand new online exclusives, because, oh my gosh, they're just cute as can be. Stampin' Up! Is like outdoing themselves with fun new things. Hi, Shar. Welcome. Hi, Bonnie. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so this is the Thankful Garden. This is the stamp set that is included in the $28 class, and you're going to make 4 cards with it. And I'm I will show you the 4 cards as we are working with them. All right, I just want to get started on this. Okay, so well, no, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and show them to you right now. Well, here's the paper, and we've already looked at the paper. You're not getting a paper packet. You're just getting the things to make the cards with. Okay, usually like in my classes to go, I include half a pack of paper and I include some embellishments, and then you can purchase the stamp set. Well, this is a little bit different. The stamp set is actually included in the class. And we are going to use the Thankful Garden paper in your cards, but I think I will go ahead and show you the cards right away, and then you can see the class. All right, so let me get those. Okay, these are the 4 cards that will be included in the class. So you have these beautiful, beautiful little cards, and I'm going to show you each way. They're not, you know, the cards are simple cards. But I'm going to show you how to use the hydrangeas and how to use the hydrangeas in different ways. So they're gorgeous. This is just a beautiful packet, very simple, little 4 by 5.5 cards. They will have a white inside. I forgot to do that. Yeah, but they will have a white inside. That always makes it easier for your stamping and your writing on the inside. But they are just really lovely little cards. You can do them in any colors. I tried to keep the colors very neutral. So, and the coordinating colors very neutral. So you can do them in any colors that you choose. Okay. So this is the class, and this will be $28. Plus, if you need to have shipping, it'll be $8 of shipping, okay? And you're going to get the 4 cards with envelopes. Now, you can also do the add-on, all right? And I've marked the add-on as a special anniversary price. So you are still going to get the stamp set and the 4 cards, but you're only going to be paying the little extra. Well, it's not the little extra. I don't mean to diminish that, but the extra for the bundle. So you're still getting the 10% off as a bundle, and you are not paying the additional shipping and handling and tax on the masks and on the dies. So the additional, if you add on the bundle, you'd only be paying an extra $40.75. So you're getting, it's like a really great savings. You're getting the bundle price and not paying the extra shipping or handling and tax. You do, if you do need shipping, that's the postal shipping that I have to ship your actual kit to you, and that's $8. But you're not paying the, you know, the 11% and 5%. You're not paying the extra 16% from Stampin' Up. So the total for this would be the 4 cards, the stamp set, the bundle, you know, and the mask for $68.75. And if you need it shipped, it'll be $8 shipping. Okay. And this will all go in the email, and I probably am not explaining it very good, but I will be talking about it more later on. So what comes in, you have these great dies to cut out the stamps, and the stamps are much bigger. These are the size of the stamps. They'll cut out the stamps, they'll cut out little individual leaves and flowers and so forth. And then you have a couple little standalone leaf dies, which add really cool accents. And I'll be showing you more about it, more about the things that you can do with this bundle on Monday. Today, I want to teach you how to use the masks and the stamps in several different ways, if that makes sense. And the masks are so you can add color to the stamps without using markers. You can use your blending brushes and your ink pads and get some beautifully colored in images. So we have 2 masks that are for the leaves, and I know this is kind of weird, and then 3 masks, 3 little stencils for the flowers, to color the flowers in. And that's what I'm going to explain to you today. It is so much fun. We've had several of these masks. I think they did one around Christmas with evergreen trees, and gosh, was there one with leaves? I'm not really sure, but they are so much fun to work with, and it's just an easy way to color And as you can see, the cards turn out beautiful. So I want to show you how to use the mask. Now, to make the cards that we made are in the kit, you do not have to purchase the bundle, but you can if you'd like to. Okay, because you're getting the stamps, you can just color them in with your watercolor pencils, you can color them in with your blends, you can color them in with your ink pads and an aqua painter. But these masks are to die for. So let's go ahead and just dig in to this whole thing. And then, you know, for being a teacher, I am not very articulate. You know, I don't know. I never have been, I guess. And that's okay. You know, I teach by showing, not by speaking well, maybe, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to do both flowers for you today, and I'm going to show you 2 ways to color in, and then using the masks. And then I have a flyer here, or a pre-made thing of showing you that what I colored in with blends, what I colored in with the masks, and what I colored in with the stamps. So let's just get started, and maybe I can be more clear. So the first one, I think we're going to start with, we'll start with the flower. I love the flower. And it is really very, I put my stamps together, easy to line up. All right, so we're going to start with this flower right here. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to color it in using the masks. Okay, and then I have the third way that I have done using markers. So I don't want you to feel like you have to get the masks, but the masks are a beautiful tool. So you're going to use Memento. You can use StazOn when you're using the mask. That's okay too. But I'm going to use Memento Black just because I really like working with Memento Black, and I'm not doing any kind of watercoloring. And instead of putting my stamp on the ink pad and going like that, I'm actually going to take my ink pad and go like that on the stamp. It's a larger stamp. This is just the easier way to do it. Okay, and then you can get it nice and thoroughly covered without squishing or, second guessing yourself here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it right here, and I will do another one right away as well. And then we'll do the same thing for the hydrangea. And I want to show you how to use those masks, because there's a couple little tricks and ideas, to get things lined up properly. And once you start doing it, it's really, there's nothing to it. The cool thing about this is that you can use just one color of ink. Now, you could use more than one color, and I have messed around and used multiple colors and, different color combinations, but I'm going to use Melon Mambo and Garden Green. But maybe I'm thinking, maybe I should, because I'm going to show you it in Melon Mambo and Garden Green. And I will print these all out, all the little sample things that I'm doing in the tutorial. But let's mix it up a little bit, and let's do Melon Mambo and Granny Apple Green, because I would like to see how that color looks. That's one thing I didn't do. All right, so for the first thing that you want to do is understand how these masks work. Okay, so they have this cool little notch up here in each mask, and each mask, see, there's these notches, and each mask has a number, and I know it's really hard to see, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but right up here in the corner is like the number 1. Okay, I don't know, I'm not going to wait, just trust me when I tell you. And then there's a number 2, and then there's a number 3, and they're all by the notches. And you can see as you're going along, the more detail that is. The more that's cut out is the number 1. And then we get a little bit cut out in number 2. and then very little cutout in the number 3. Okay, so we're going from the lightest to the darkest first. And the same thing goes with the leaves. Here's that notch, and then there's, I should probably get my glasses because I'm not sure if they labeled it number 1. Nope, they labeled it number 4. And then here's the detail of the leaves at number 5. All right. I'm excited for the cards that I'm going to show you this week too. It's just too much fun. So, oh, you know what? I did this wrong. I only need one stamped because the other one I'm going to show you how to use it not stamping. So I'm just going to redo this and I'll just re-ink this puppy and we're just going to stamp it once. And I want to show you how to use it with the stamps. And I want to show you how to use the masks without the stamps. That's what I want to do. Okay, so here we go. This is our first one. Now, I am not by the edge. I am not using a quarter sheet of paper, which really kind of is really handy. I am right here in the middle of my pattern, and the leaves match up like that. Now look at that. There's my arrow all the way down here. This is very easy to line up, but if you would like to, if you're putting it like on a pre-cut out piece of paper, or you're maybe putting it like on a die cut and you need to know where to follow, all you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil. Either you can color in that little notch, or you can just put a little line right up here for you to follow with a pencil. And if it is on the paper that the cardstock that you're actually using, you can totally erase that because it's in pencil. But this gives me a nice little line, know where I need to line up each and every stencil. Now, this is also up to you. You can get out a little piece of repositionable tape or some washi tape and hold your stencil in place. If, you know, and sometimes it's not a bad idea, especially if you're new to stenciling. It's not necessary. I didn't do it at all, and I was totally fine. If your stencil moves just a tinge, you can always just move it a tinge back. You know, it's very, very forgiving. So I'm going to open up my Melon Mambo. I have my Melon Mambo blending brush, and I am using a bigger brush. You can use the smaller ones. I find that I don't know, I like the bigger ones a little bit better, just because the coverage, and I can be just a little bit more, I don't know. I don't even know what I can be more. It's just, I found them easier to use, but if you have the small ones, they work too. So you're going to ink up your blending brush, okay, just by tapping it on your pad, and then you really want to tap all the excess off, because you're using that wide open space, you want a very, hi Mary Jane, hi Jane, you want a very light color to start with, and then the color gets more intense as you add it on. So I have it tapped off, and you know, you can always add more, but you can't always take it out. And I am just starting by tapping it, just like you did with the stencils on your walls when we used to stencil our walls back when I first started stamping. And you can even lightly, if you're careful, you can lightly brush that color right on. Okay, so there is step number 1, and you just want a very light color, and you can peel that off. Now I am not going to use any more tape. I'm just going to line it up, and I find that you can hold it. So now we're just going to line up our stencil with our little guide that we made here, or if you were using the little pokey here, that works out too. Or if you were doing it right up in the corner, that works too, but we're not in the corner, we're down here, and I wanted to show you how to do it. So we'll just line it up in that guide. I'm going to hold it in place, and you're thinking, well, look at it, it's showing white. Yeah, it's supposed to. It's supposed to, because you're adding extra color on. So we're just going to, there we go. Okay, and now I'm going to ink it up, just tap it off a little bit, And like I said, this is the extra color, so this is going to be a little bit darker. And I'm just starting with tapping it on. And then you can even brush it on if you wish. Really gently. You don't want to use that big firm pressure that sometimes you use with the blending brushes, because the edges of the mask are delicate and you could pick them up and move them, and you don't want to do that. But look at adding that beautiful extra color. Look at that one already. And we even have one more detail to go. So let's do our last one, and that would be number 3. Line it up in the corner here. And we're going to tap that extra color on. And this one is going to be nice and dark. So don't worry about adding too much color. It's really up to you. Now this lends itself with every color. I mean, you can do yellows, you can do blues, you can do purples. Look how pretty that turns out with the stencils. Okay, so next what we're going to do is, hi Carol, what we're going to do is the leaves. All right, so the flowers are done. 1, 2, 3. It goes so darn quick. All right. And I think I'm going to use, I'll show you the one that I did with Garden Green, because the Garden Green actually matches the paper that we're working with. But I just want to show you Granny Apple Green just for a little something different, because some of the paper could be totally with the Granny Apple Green. So it's really up to you. Make sure your blending brush is clean. All right. And then we have the one that's wide open. And you're just going to line that up in your little notch, like the one we made with the pencil, or with the notch over here, but we did the one with the pencil, so we are good. Tap it, and once again, light color, so tap that excess out. And just start adding some green. And it can be nice as light, so you can really see the detail when you add the dark. Okay, so look, that's beautiful the way it is. I do like, you guys know me, I am a Granny Apple Green person, very much so. I'm going to put that over here, and then I got stencil number 5, and that has the detail. So this is going to go much quicker now that you know all the ins and outs and how to do this, because I got 3 more to show you. So we're just going to tap that out. And now this one we can make nice and dark. And if it moves, you just move it back. Sometimes you can feel it moving. Excuse me. And that's okay. You can just move it right back. And there you have that beautiful detail of the flower. Isn't that cool? I just love it, you guys. It's so much fun. I mean, it brings back the stenciling of our walls, but doing it in our cards. So then I would just take and erase that if that is not part of what I need to be cut out, you know, or make sure you have a clean little pencil if you need to erase that. And, you know, there you have it. So now I'm going to show you how to use a stencil without stamping first, okay? We're going to do the same thing that we did. And this one, we will do it just like we did before. I'm going to mark my stencil right up here because my arrow is not fitting. When I do the hydrangea, I do believe I can use the little arrow that I'm working with. So we will do it in the Melon Mambo again, and all 3 steps. So once again, tap it out and just tap that color in there lightly. And see, look at, I didn't tap it out. It's going to be okay. Every flower is going to turn out a little different. Now this flower, when it's not stamped, is like drop dead gorgeous. I love it. Okay, pick it up and we will move it. Then get number 2, the number 2 stencil, line it up. Add the color. Look how pretty. Oh my gosh. And then number 3, line that stencil up with that pencil corner there. And we will add the dark color, the darkest detail. Oop, I moved. See, I move all the time. So if you're, if you're not sure, just, you can put a little tape down. That makes you feel better, Add that nice dark color. And look at that flower. It's so pretty, you guys. Look at that. And it's just, I moved how many times and it still looks totally fine. Let's add the leaves. We'll do the leaves super quick. And I line it up here in your corner. And then the leaves are going to be in the correct spot. And this is the number 4 stencil. And tap it off a little bit. And just start pouncing. Now you could even do this with sponge daubers, but I'll tell you, the blending brushes work so much better. And like I said, these brushes are so fine and they're so tightly well made that it's not going to matter a little bit, if you rub it. You generally don't pick up the detail. As long as you're not rubbing too hard, you're not going to pick up the detail of the mask and ruin your mask. Look how pretty that looks. Totally different look than this. Very soft, where this, but each one has a purpose. And that's why I made a card using each technique and each flower that I'm going to show you today. So you're going to make 2 hydrangeas and 2 of the cosmos. And I believe these are cosmos. I'm going to call them cosmos. I don't know. Maybe they're roses. Kind of like like an old rose, like a wild rose. Maybe they're a wild rose. That could be too. I love wild roses. We always had them growing on our fence line on the farm. So this one, I'm really going to add some color. There you go. And there you have that. So there is the one with the lines. And here is the one not using any stamped image. Okay, so you can see why I really love these masks. I mean, they're just beautiful and easy to color everything in. Now, there are little additional stamps in the stamp set. Here, let me get that for you. And they have all these little dark dots, these little dots right here that are for like the inside of your stamps. Okay, so especially when you're not using the lines, but you want to add a little depth, you can do that. And I have them right here. And let's try adding a little depth using just some Melon Mambo. Let's see what that looks like. I don't think that is going to, it shows up. Yeah, it does. So it gives you a little bit of a center. Now you can also use it in the black and give yourself a little bit deeper of a center. And I can show you. Let's not use that one. I'm not going to use that big one. I'm going to use this small one. Let's use this. And I do kind of like that center, especially in the stamped image one, because it just gives you a little bit of a focus, a little center of your flower, where this one is just more of a watercolor painting kind of flower. This one looks more like a flower. I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining myself well. But let me show you the 3 that I did earlier. Okay, and then you can kind of see the contrast. And I was going to label them, but I'll have them labeled in the tutorial, and I'll have them labeled when I show you next Monday. All right, so this is the one. This is the one that we did today. This is this, and you can see this is using Garden Green. And this I used Granny Apple Green. So, you know, you can play around with your greens. You can use a combination of Garden Green and Granny Apple. You can use your choice, especially like in the black and white cards. You can totally use your choice of green. In the cards that have the flowered background, you might want to stick with the Garden Green because that's the green that is in the designer series paper. And this was the colored one. And you can see what a difference this makes adding the little center. I did not add the center in this one, but adding the center. So this is using the masks and the stamped image. And then this is the one I did using Mellow Mambo markers and Granny Apple Green markers with this. And I just colored it in with my Stampin' Blends. So this is Stampin' Blends. This is using the mask with the lined image, and this is using the mask on its own. Okay, so you can see all three differences. Aren't they fun? Now, this is the card that I did using the lined images, and you're just going to stamp it on your card and using the mask to color it in. I did not use any blends. I did use masks on all the cards, but once again, you don't have to. And then here is the other one where, here, we'll put that right there. I don't want to get any ink on it. And this is the one that I did this technique. No lined images, just using the masks. And you can do this technique on there. Use, you want a lighter flower, use Fresh Freesia or Bubble Bath or Pretty in Pink to get a lighter flower to color in. I just wanted to show you it in the same Melon Mambo. This one I used Calypso Coral and Garden Green. This is Melon Mambo and Garden Green as well, just using the mask. So, and like I said, this one, you could use any color because it's just a faint pink. So you can use Bubble Bath, you can use purples, you could use anything to color it in as well as this. I just wanted to show you some differences. Okay, does this all make sense here? Blends, masks with the lined image, and masks on its own. Masks with the lined image, masks on their own. And I'll have it all labeled for you in the email too, so you can really see it. Okay, let's do the hydrangea. The hydrangea is super fun. And then I'm also going to show you how to clean off your stamps or clean off your masks as well. You know how to clean off your stamps. So we're going to use the hydrangea. And I'm just going to do one stamped image because I already have the one with blends already colored in. The blends take a little bit longer. It is a nice, big, full-size stamp, so which is kind of cool. You know, then you don't have to do a whole lot to your cards. One flower does your cards. So anyway, ink it up with your stamp side up and using the pad on the stamp, not the stamp on the pad. And then we'll go ahead and stamp that hydrangea, and I think I'll do her over here. Okay, now let's see. We are going to use, I have my other samples in Fresh Freesia, but I wanted to show you blues. A lot of people love blues, and I am going to use the blue of the Blueberry Bushel, which is in the designer series paper. But you can do any blues. You can do balmy blues. Balmy blue is beautiful. Pool Party is beautiful. You can really just have fun with this. Boho blue would be beautiful. So, but I'm going to use Blueberry Bushel because Blueberry Bushel is a dark color. This way you'll see how to do it, you know, with the masking and the stamping. And let me find my, right here. Okay, so once again, this one, let's see. I am going to line it up just according to the stamp. And I'll put my little tape down if you want to, if you don't. And this one, you can just, you know, follow the notch, put your little thing down and follow the notch. So if you were to be stamping this right in the corner, makes it super easy. Or just following the notch. You don't even have to write this down or add this in here. but I'm going to add the whole little area. And it just makes, you know, whatever makes it easiest, right? So we will ink up this blueberry bushel. And once again, really look how dark that color is. Look how dark this is. So you really want to pounce that off and get it light and just start pouncing. And you can always add more, but you can't always take it off. And so you can just swirl it a little bit too if you have the touch and you feel comfortable swirling it on there. But just add a nice little layer of balmy blue, blueberry bushel this is. And then you can take that off gently. All right, now we'll add step number 2, and I'm not going to stick it down. We'll just line it up in our groove, in our little pencil line, and then we know it's in the right position. Pounce that off. And this is a little bit more detailed, so you got to be careful that you don't pick up the edges, and just start pouncing that on. Okay. You can swirl it. Do a little swirly. And then you're adding that second layer of color. Isn't that a pretty? And that's pretty just the way it is. So if you want to leave it just like that, I like it like that. That's totally doable, because sometimes, you know, depending on your taste, whether it's a little too much or not, you know, it's totally up to you. And then we're going to line it up with my notch here, and we will really can pounce that color on. Because this one's going to be the dark and the real minute detail. And I'm going to do it nice and dark just so you can see it. If you feel comfortable swirling, you can swirl. And there, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it's so much fun, you guys. It is so much fun. You know me, I'm not a putsy person. Not at all. I like quick and easy, but this kind of makes it quick and easy, because when I did do the coloring in, that takes a little bit longer time. So anyway, line number 4, we're going to do our leaves now. Line it up with your little notch that you colored in there, and we will add this. Oh, I'm using garden green. Okay, that's okay. And I didn't pounce off again. Go figure. But that way you can see it's very forgiving. It's okay. It looks just a little natural. You know, you get a little bit of darkness there. That's okay. So we will line it up at our notch and add number 5 stencil for our leaves and garden green. I pounced it off. And it also, you know, it's going to depend on how juicy your ink pads are too. Okay, and there's the detail, and there is your hydrangea. Isn't that very pretty? Okay, now I want to show you the hydrangea, and then we can go ahead and erase this. This isn't, black erasers are not the best, I guess, but it's okay. Okay, now let's do the hydrangea with no lines, okay? We will get our mask, and I'm going to show you, if you want to, if you're doing it like on a little, like a postcard size piece of white, you can just line it up at the corner and not even draw in a mark, little mark with your mask. You can just line it up at the quarter of your paper, you know, if that's what works. That works just fine too. It's how you just need some kind of guideline so your stencil goes in the right spot each time. Okay, that's the only important part. So blueberry bushel, very light, pounce that off. Just add little. And when you're using this bigger stencil, just go from, from outside in and swirl some color in there. Okay, lift up gently. That one had the tape on it. Number 2, the guide is my corner, so I don't even have to follow the little pencil guide or anything. I'm just using the corner. Pounce it off, pounce it on. Okay, look how pretty. Oh, I love this. And then number 3. What do you guys think? Do you like this? Do you like these stencils? I think they're fun. Like, I did not get the, this is number 3, and so this is the deepest color. Okay, and you can see that I'm just using the one color ink pad. I did not, do this in the fall with evergreens or whatever. I saw samples and I thought they were beautiful, but if it's a flower, I'm there. So I'm just going to add that deep color, but I just look at how pretty that is. This looks so natural. Okay, let's add the leaves real quick. And once again, I can just add the leaves by popping this right in the corner of my paper because that's where I have it. So I didn't have to use the notch or the guide. I can just add it in the corner and I'm good to go. And you know what? I think I'm going to show you this. Let's show you it in Granny Apple Green too. Although the garden green is very, very pretty with it. Yeah, why not? Let's just take a little walk on the wild side here. Oh no, I guess I already used garden green. Never mind, I'm gonna use garden green. Thinking on the fly here, but okay, pounce it off. So a lot of times when I'm creating my projects, I think I've told you this, that I have to create in the last minute. If I try to do this ahead of time, it just doesn't work out for me. I've always been like, the last minute kind of person. So a lot of times I'll do my Friday Facebook projects at 3 in the morning on Friday morning. And that's truly when I do my best work. And that's okay. I don't mind getting up and doing it. That's when I work well and it's nice and quiet and stuff. So anyway, that is when I did these projects. And then I got excited and I thought, let's make this class. I'm lining it up in the corner. And anyway, and then I got my projects done. And so I did go back to sleep for a little while, like right around 7 o'clock, and just went back to sleep for like an hour, before I got up. And I had this crazy dream that I forgot that I was doing Facebook Live. And it was 2 hours after, it was like about 1:30. And I thought, oh my gosh, they're waiting for me at 11. I just kind of had a little nightmare in my dream. And I thought I missed my Friday Facebook Live, that I forgot all about it. So I have, I have crazy dreams. You ever do that? Have these, look at that, how pretty that is. So, but I didn't. I was here at 11, so that is good, but it's kind of funny. So anyway, here is with the line images and the mask and with just the masks. Once again, you can take those little bitty centers, and if you want to add a little center in Blueberry Bushel, I did do some in black. I'll show you the next color. The Blueberry Bushel doesn't show up super well, so, but I kind of like it just like that. I don't know. We can look at it. I did it. Let's add that little center in black here. Now that I like, when you have the black outline and then you're adding that black image. just to really kind of give your flower a center. Where this I kind of like just kind of watercolory. Hey, but everybody, to each his own, has their own little taste. So that does look cool with the black centers. I like that. But there is Blueberry Bushel. Blueberry Bushel with the, whatchamacallit, garden green. All right, so let me show you the other one I did. Because I did it in Pretty Peacock. No, excuse me. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Not Fresh Freesia. Oh, Petunia Pop. Petunia Pop. Okay, so this is the Petunia Pop. Don't look at this edge. This was the actual first one I did, and I kind of mushed it. But this is coloring in with markers. Okay, this is using the lined image and the mask, and then this is doing the watercolor image and the mask. Petunia Pop to me was a little bit dark, and then I added the little black centers. See what I mean? I don't know if I care for it, but it's really totally up to you. I think the black little centers would look cute in that, like it does in this. So here is, you know, markers. And I think the Petunia Pop is just a little bit of a darker purple, where I think I like Fresh Freesia, but that's my own taste. And I'm wondering if this is showing up in the camera here. So this is markers. This is the stamped image with the mask, and then just the mask alone. Okay, and then stamped image with the mask and the mask alone. This is the Blueberry Bushel. And then here are the ones that are for the class. I don't want to get ink on them. Look at the one in Fresh Freesia. This is Fresh Freesia, and I think I like it better than the Petunia Pop. Petunia Pop was just a little too dark. Fresh Freesia is just really soft and, you know, hydrangea looking. And that one I did just using the masks. But you can totally use Fresh Freesia and color it in if you choose not to you want the class and you want to just color it in. You can just get the, you know, with the markers. Okay. And then this is the one that I did using the lined image and the coloring in. So we have one of each, if that makes sense. So this is a lined image with the mask, and this is just the masks. This is Blueberry Bushel. Here's another one I did, and I didn't put it in a card or anything, but I wanted to show you. I did this in Pool Party with a background, and then I did Balmy Blue. I think it was Balmy Blue, and then Azure Afternoon. So I actually used 3 different colors to make this hydrangea, so you can kind of see the difference. But truly, you don't need 3 colors. You're getting 3 colors here. You know, you're getting 3 tonal colors here. So it's just really kind of cool. So anyway, that is what I wanted to show you today. I'm going to be back on Monday. Now these are the 4 cards. I wanted to show you how to use the masks. These are the 4 cards that you're going to get in the class, and using the techniques that I used today. And like I said, if you choose not to, you know, you want the class, but you choose not to get the bundle, you just want the stamp set, you can totally color them in with your markers, okay? But these are the cards that you're going to get in the class. I'm going to be back on Monday with a couple more cards because I want to show you more of what you can do with this stamp set, with this bundle, with the whole thing. Different ideas that you can use with the Thankful Garden, because it is just it's a huge suite. It has a lot going on. You can do so much. But wouldn't this make just a lovely little gift card set? With the envelopes and then making a little gift packaging. Maybe we'll do something like that as well. But these are the 4 cards that are going to come in the class, okay? And then you will get the stamp set with your class and all of that, and the 4 cards with the envelopes and a few embellishments are going to be $28 in honor of my 28th anniversary. So if you'd like to sign up for that, that'd be great. I'm going to hold this open until March 31st, and And I'm going to go ahead and put the order in and get it ready by the end of that week. So, and I'll keep you more posted on those dates. And if you would like to add the bundle, you would just pay $40.75. So you're just going to pay, what I did is I subtracted the $24 from the $64.75 stamp set and or bundle, and then I got the $40.75. So you can add on the masks and the dies for $40.75 and pay no additional shipping or handling and tax. So it's really kind of a really good deal if you would like to get that. And then you can do all these cool techniques and even more of the techniques that I have coming up for you next week. So just shoot me an email, message me on Facebook. You can text me if you have my number. You can message me in Messenger. And oh, I wanted to show you how to clean those masks off real quick, because it's not a big deal. You think, oh my God, that's so messy, but it's not. It's not at all. All I did is you can take, if you have your chamois, and it's a clean chamois, mine are not that clean. That's why I'm just using some paper towel, and you can use a wet paper towel, or I even have a couple, well, I got lots of baby wipes in this house. So all I do is I just take my mask, lay it on my paper towel, and I'm going to start dabbing that and very gently pick off that color, okay? Don't rub it because you're going to move the delicate little details of the mask. And then just, and the pinks do tend to stain this mask, and that's okay. But just keep on picking up color. The blues don't stain, but the pinks do just a little bit. I'll have to come up with more colors of flowers because, like I said, once you start playing with it, it's way too much fun. And if you're concerned that some of the color got on the backside, you can also clean up the backside too. And then just make sure your wipe is clean, or your towel or your chamois, whatever you're choosing to use. And just very gently rub it. Don't go wild on it. I don't want you to ruin your stencil or your mask. And let it dry, and it is ready to go. So that's how quick and easy it is to clean those up. So anyway, that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me and celebrating a little bit of my anniversary with just a really fun little pop-up class. Only 2 years until my 30th anniversary. So we will really have to go to town on that one. And we'll just wipe this off and join me on Monday. Okay, like I said, I'm going to be back with more Thankful Garden so you can see even more ways to use it. We'll use paper, we will use the stencils, we will do all sorts of fun cards, and that's where we'll come in with maybe some fun folds and just some more. We'll use the dies and show you different ways to use the dies and really go to town on some of this next week. Maybe I'll even just post some too. So anyway, take care, everybody. Let me leave you with something pretty to look at. Let's get rid of that. Throw that out. Let's bring those cards back. Take care, everybody. And I will see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And I will see you next week on Monday at 6 p.m. All right. Thanks again. Bye-bye.